thought I saw that one.
Ooh. Okay, so let's see. It's Thursday, January 26, 2023. It's 7:02 p.m. We are starting the Sykesville Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. So the first thing is approval of the meeting minutes from our last meeting. Remember, we skipped December, so this is for the one for November. So I motion to approve the November 17th, 2022 meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I almost forgot the prompt. Okay, so then on to agenda items. So we don't have a lot to go through today. So the first thing, probably the easiest thing, is approving the meeting schedule for 2023. So the meeting schedule it's the same that it has been in the past years. It's the fourth Thursday of each month, except for November, which is the third Thursday, which I think was the 16th. And then no meeting in December. So just before we vote, does anybody have any questions about that? Okay. So I motion to approve the 2023 meeting schedule.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. On to more fun stuff. So the 2023 event schedule. Let me bring it down.
So I had one suggestion, and it's just a suggestion, it's your guys' decision. The scavenger hunt, Easter egg hunt that we did the last 2 years on the same day, I kind of felt like last year the scavenger hunt kind of got overlooked a little bit. Everybody was back in full swing doing the Easter egg hunt, and so I thought, what if we did 2 weekends? Like maybe like a spring event, so maybe the weekend before the Easter egg hunt, maybe we do the scavenger hunt rather than doing both the events in the same weekend. Because I feel like you two were kind of running around like crazy and trying to get ready for the Easter egg hunt, and then we had like 1,000 people show up. And, you know, I'm not even sure, like I felt like last year I had a chance to really talk to people and explain what it was. I felt like we had and part of it was COVID, I think, because we had like 30 some odd entries. Last year we only had a handful, I think. So anyway, I was thinking of you guys looking at April and maybe making an event for the month. And maybe you want to do the scavenger hunt too, I don't know. But I thought about splitting the days.
I like that idea.
Is a scavenger hunt Easter themed? Is that like an Easter theme?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're wooden eggs that Brian created, and we painted them to look like Easter eggs. So they're just like large Easter eggs, and on the back of each one there was a different letter. And then so if you found all of them, then you get all these letters to unscramble, and then you could submit it to the town to. It was a contest, right?
Yeah. That's what I thought if you did it, you know,
Yeah, like
a
the
week or
idea
two
of
before.
splitting it.
Yeah.
How many volunteers did we have last year for that? Just 2 people, it sounds like?
So it's just me and Brian that did the scavenger hunt, and then for the
We just
Easter
hide them around
hunt-
town and leave them out for a couple of days. And people
Yeah.
can go to all the parks and find them.
So how do I guess we'd have to advertise it online then. Because 2 years ago, we were able to talk to them. If we do it the weekend before, we won't be able to
Well,
talk
that's
to them.
true too. We don't have that opportunity to have
Yeah.
the face-to-face promoting it.
But like you said last year, it's just a madhouse. So
Yeah.
the idea of talking to them about that stuff.
I mean, I was just running around handing out flyers.
Uh-huh.
I did like the year before. I felt like I was like talking to everybody and.
There's a lot less people that year too.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
was easier.
What if we?
Well, I mean, the whole idea of the scavenger hunt was because it was COVID. If
Yeah,
they couldn't do
yeah.
the Easter egg hunt.
Well, I didn't want to
That's
suggest
how
us
it
not doing it because it was really a fun, popular event. And we still had, I don't remember, I think we had 10 or 12 entries maybe last year. Do you guys remember?
I feel like it was like 12.
Something, it
12
wasn't near
sounds
what we
right.
had the first year.
Yeah.
But again, it was COVID.
Is there a way to make the scavenger hunt like more doable on the same day? Maybe like put the eggs
That's up to you
in
guys.
closer location.
Maybe.
Although
Yeah, maybe if we have more people commit to volunteering too, so That way we're not breaking it up, since we already have, well, it's like a park cleanup for April 22nd. I wouldn't want to add a third event for a third day in April.
We could put the eggs along the linear trail and just have it be like a walk, a single walk,
That's a
instead of
nice
going to
idea.
every single park, because that takes time.
Yeah.
That would be easier. It'd also be nice if we could leave them out longer, but the problem is that people are stealing them.
Yeah.
What if we start the scavenger hunt at the Easter egg hunt,
That's what we did
which is
last
the
year.
7th? So start the first day there and then tell them
That's what we were
to
doing.
just hit the linear trail. Because I like the idea because the new equipment is coming in.
Mm.
So that's a way to get
It's
that
in.
started. It's all in?
Mhm.
Cool, then there we go.
To
That could work.
I think the linear trail's a good idea.
I like that.
oh, how long did we do it last year? Was it just the weekend that we ran it, or was it till the next weekend?
So I ran around and hid all the eggs before the event on Friday, and then we went around and collected them on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, that's a busy weekend.
Yeah.
Probably, especially with Easter going on. And,
Right.
Well, and if they're all at the linear trail, then I don't have to drive around to every park every day checking to see if they're still there.
Especially since people moved them.
Yeah.
So even if they were at the park, it was still a scavenger hunt for us.
Well, the chances of people taking and removing them is still there,
Right.
if not more so on the trail, but
Can we nail them
Agreed,
to a
'cause
tree?
it's not as open.
yeah.
I could put holes in them and chain them down, but that just
That's
doesn't.
more work for you.
I don't know. We had this conversation the last few times, I think,
I
and
remember.
just come find a good way
Well,
to secure them.
I made a bunch of backups last year, so we've got extra eggs. It's just a matter of figuring out which letter I gotta replace.
Right.
We have time to figure the logistics of it out, though, right? Because right now we're just trying to figure out what the date would
Yeah, the dates, yeah, that's true.
I'd say since we already have 2 events that weekend. Well, I mean, the scavenger hunt thing's easy though. It's half an hour of putting the eggs out and checking them. So we can do that another weekend. It's basically just on me.
Right. Is there another holiday that we could do it on? Like
Well, it's
Thanksgiving
eggs.
week? No, they are eggs. Aren't they?
I had grand plans of making like leaves and doing one in the fall and stuff, but I just
Yeah.
never got around to it.
I still like the idea of kicking it off at the same time as the Easter egg hunt event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too. Especially if we move it to the linear trail, it makes it a little easier. My kids did it 2 years ago, and they got halfway through and they were exhausted. I was like, I know that we're done to tell you.
That's fair.
But, and then there's some eggs that are missing. So now if it's all in one thing, it's not, because the way we did it at least 2 years ago, it took hours to get it.
Really?
Yeah. My wife was like, we're done doing this. So if it's just in one spot, then I think that weekend makes it a little easier.
That would be more doable even for the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll try to advertise a little better.
Do it the same weekend as the Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, so I think it's fine to leave it as April 7th on the calendar.
And if we print the flyers out, we'll have a bunch of activities there anyways. We can hand all those out then.
Yep.
I think people understand it better if they're going to one location. I think where the disconnect with
Yeah.
people was that they had to get to different locations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was hard just reading it off paper and not
Right.
getting a little, if they had questions or,
Yeah.
so I think I like the linear trail idea. That was a good
Yeah.
idea.
Good job, Nick. Your idea.
Okay, so we're good with April 7th then, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Park cleanup. So this is the park cleanup in the spring that kind of aligns with Earth Day. So April 22nd, the rain date, the following weekend, April 29th. Anybody want to discuss that?
Who said it was?
It's
Rosh. No, that's the fall
It's
one.
Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah that day. I just,
Oh, that's
Wanted
right.
to
The
put
rain
that
date,
out there.
correct? For the
the 22nd is.
22nd, okay.
Yeah.
We could do the 29th.
22nd is Earth Day,
I
right?
know. It is. I 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 know.
I mean, I kind of like
What
doing
is
it
the,
on Earth
what
Day.
is the typical, what is that day like for Jewish people?
I don't know.
Like,
I just,
would
I
it
know
be
that we have,
A
I know,
conflict to do it the same day, or?
I don't know, cause I
It's
don't,
usually sunset. So like if it's in the morning when the sun's out, you should be okay, but if you're doing something like after sunset.
Oh, so they do it in the morning?
So I don't know if there are other activities that, on that day people will be participating in, but a lot of the ceremonies go on at,
Sunset.
I don't know if they'd be at the synagogue though during the day as well.
Right.
that was my only thought, just cause I know that we have a menorah here for Hanukkah, so I know we have
Yep.
Jewish families in our town, and I just wanted to be cognizant of them.
Yeah.
But if most of the activities are at night,
I don't know what goes on in the synagogue during the day. I know if it's a work day, either they're taking like the whole 3 days off, or it's I have to leave by 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get home.
okay. And we generally do it 9 to 12, right?
Yeah, it's in the
Right.
morning.
Yeah, it's always in the morning.
But you're saying it's a weekday?
It is.
I'd
It
say,
Which
is
is
Earth
kind of
Day.
it's kind of a
I
cool.
say we
the
keep
point.
it on Earth Day.
Yeah, I think it's.
I think it'll be
keep
fine.
it.
I think it's fine too.
Okay.
Okay, so then our movie dates, this is the same that it has been. We still, have May off of there. This will be June through October, the second Saturday of the month.
I kind of went off previous schedule, but I didn't try to do the concerts in the park. I figured that would be you guys'.
Yeah, 'cause that's been changing.
Yeah.
So any issues with the movie dates, any discussions we need to have there? I do already know that I won't be available for the June 10th one, makes me sad. But I think that we have enough other volunteers to.
How are we with the licensing?
We can start to deal with that at the next meeting.
Okay.
We have to pick the movies out first. Alright, so then music in the park.
Really
All the
quickly,
questions.
sorry, Alex. We showed all the movies last summer. We don't have
Not-
any carryover. Did we
no,
have
not
one?
July.
Yeah, we have to do the Christmas in July, Muppets one.
Muppets one.
So will we save that for July again?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect,
Christmas in
perfect,
July.
perfect. Okay.
You still have the lemons.
2.5
I really don't know. Okay, Muppets Christmas in July.
What was the movie?
It was Muppets Christmas.
Muppets Christmas
that's
Carol.
right.
Isn't that like a pretty short movie?
I watched it this year. I don't remember.
I think most of the movies that we choose are like an hour and a half.
I feel like the
It starts
Muppets
early.
Christmas Carol is like 45 minutes.
No.
Not that short.
No, it's a,
Okay.
it's
Not
a,
that
it's a full length movie.
And that's even better with July, because
Yeah.
it's a late one.
Yeah.
That's a late sunset, so that's good.
I might be thinking of the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown because that one was like.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Charlie
Yeah.
Brown's
Sure.
very short,
Yeah, they're short.
Are you sorry, concerts?
Yeah, music in the park.
Yes, so the music in the park. So, we've done different things in past years.
Take
Do
it
you have a
away, Mike.
preference, Nick?
I think the timing of last year was good as far as weather and like the light and
I feel like we had our best turnout last year compared to years past.
and I think that had a lot to do with the weather and also the groups that we had too.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought last year was the best.
What happened last
Since
year's
the
dates?
past.
You need to.
It was September, right? And
Yeah.
October, late
September
September,
into
early
October.
October. Do you want to stick with 3 again? Because
Do you want to stick with 3?
I think
Because
3
you pick the bands.
I think 3 was manageable. I think it's no problem finding 3 bands at all. And I think after a really long summer of movies all the time, maybe 3 is good for us. So we can have an extra weekend to ourselves.
Agreed. Will you invite any of the bands back?
I like the band that brought all the dancing people.
That was the first one, and they
Yes.
were phenomenal.
I love them.
I
Yeah, they were
liked them
great.
a lot.
And this guy looks like a lot of fun too. I wonder how much he charges though. 'Cause
I know, he
he's,
sounds pretty,
he's got Academy Awards or Grammy.
but he
nominated.
called and I talked to him. He was like really excited to hear
Was
from
he?
you guys. And I said,
Alright.
well, I'll take it to the meeting, and
Yeah, he'd be
Wow.
fun. But
maybe he's just a really good marketer. I don't know.
that's also possible too.
No,
Did you
we
want to
made
do
them.
the combination movie concert again?
Oh yeah, we did do that.
Yeah.
Was that was a long day, wasn't it? And I don't think there was any. Oh, we did it because we showed School of Rock. Was that the only reason why we did it?
Mhm.
So I don't think we need to do that again. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think it.
I think you did it too to kind of get it out there with the crowd that was already at the. No, because you did the movie after.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of people
Coming
staying
Studying.
Do you think?
or
It's a
people
different
coming
crowd.
for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is a whole different crowd.
Different, completely separate crowd.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, then I
But
don't
it
think
felt
it's
like-
necessary.
Mhm.
So, specific. Can you switch to September? What would that be?
So we probably want to skip September 2nd, the Labor Day weekend, and the 9th of the movie.
Right.
Wait. When is Rosh Hashanah? Is it?
It's April 22nd.
No, it's Rosh Hashanah is in September.
Right, and I thought we did a cleanup then too. I think that's.
Oh, you're
why
talking about the
I was
September
talking about the summer one,
birthday.
not the, sorry. Got my dates. Sorry. The Rosh Hashanah is the 16th, which is when our spring cleanup is done, not the fall, sorry.
Okay.
Either way, same thing. We'll do it in the morning.
Yeah. So September we could do. Do we want to carry it into October again? Like the 23rd, 30th, and 7th? Or we could just keep it all in September. But that would be every single weekend in September we'd have an event.
One is
In
a
September,
holiday weekend.
yeah, I thought September 16th.
So I did get more
Oh,
information
okay,
about
never
Rosh
mind.
Hashanah if you want.
Okay, yes.
So, oops, it's New Year, 25 hours of fasting, and no activities. Like no work, no traveling, no cell phones. So there are rituals about and family activities about welcoming in the new year, kind of cleansing from the previous year and getting excited about the new year.
Then I think we should move the spring cleanup from the 16th to the 23rd, or whatever we call that.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, good. Do we have to vote on that?
Because that didn't align with anything specific.
Okay.
Do we want to do a
Can
cleanup?
you do a
and-
rate date the next week?
Probably.
So when would we do the concerts?
Do we want to do a concert and cleanup on the same day? We've done that before too. And that was
That was
also a long day.
Yeah.
What's the following Saturday?
The 30th.
October?
The 30th of September.
30th.
30. Thank you for that. Thank you.
This is the movie. Right.
The 10th.
September 9th.
I'm sorry, 9th.
Right. Wait. Yeah. That's the movie. That's Rosh Hashanah. This would be the new cleanup, the 23rd. Which means if we wanted to fit 3 concerts, we could either do the 30th of September 30th, October 7th, and October 14th.
14th is the last movie.
Yeah.
Never mind. So we would have to do, I would think, the cleanup and the concert on the same day.
Right.
And we could just have a different group of people do each,
Correct.
because I don't think anybody would want to do both. But we could do the 23rd, 30th, and 7th.
Do the
Last
cleanup and the
movie on the
movie on the
14th.
same day.
Or we could do a cleanup and a movie on the same
Do
day.
another music themed.
Are there any trash themed movies? Wally.
We already showed Wally, didn't we?
Yeah.
Environmental themed movies.
Oh, sure.
Oh, the
There's lots of
Lorax.
them. Oh, the Lorax. Oh, we did
Inconvenient
that.
truth. That's good for the kids.
What's the ones
He
with the
has
little
the movie
fairies?
book down
in the-
somewhere.
Let's see if there's
Oh, yeah.
a movie
It's
on
right
down
here.
trees.
There's like brand new movies.
Oh,
They made
nice.
that.
I'm gonna show this one. I think that-
There's,
Is there
there's
any next
the
thing?
new Lorax too, and the
These are
old
like-
one.
What's the
They're in
one
there.
where the
Aren't even
fairies are
theaters
in the
yet.
forest and the bulldozer?
Oh, we're
This is a-
going!
There you go.
It's
Audio one.
Guess we're showing Fern Gully.
Already.
a good question.
That movie's kind of scary though for children, I think.
Which one?
Fern Gully. I think it's pretty dark.
Right, so what are the dates?
For the concerts,
Mm-hmm.
it would be 23rd, same as the cleanup, 30th, and then October 7th. Which I feel like that pretty much matches last year, right? Last two.
Close.
Yeah,
Then that's 4 consecutive weekends of events.
Correct.
sure is.
Correct.
So wouldn't we want to?
That's what we did last year.
It is what we did
That's
last
that's
year.
a lot, though. I think.
It was a lot. What did I say? 9, 23, 30, 27,
Nick, what time did we start the concerts? Did we start them at 5?
5 o'clock.
Okay.
5 to 7. We'd get a break between the cleanup and the concert, at least.
I mean, maybe we could do it the concert the same day of the last movie, October 14th, if you guys want to do that. But
We could do that.
they could give us a weekend break in between, so we don't have 4 consecutive weekends.
Do you think we?
But then you're getting late into October at that point.
I don't want to push it. I don't want to push the concerts too late
Right.
because it gets cold. Nobody likes playing in the cold.
And the sun sets early.
And-
That's our
yeah.
first
Oh,
movie.
that's right.
That's
Yeah,
our
I
think we were running
It's a
into
Halloween one.
We were running into
That's why
that
we
issue
always
last
have
year.
So much in September, because it's,
Right. It's because the kids can stay. Right.
Could we do a concert at like the end of August and then 2 in September? So that way it at least spaces it out a little more.
It'd be hot, possibly.
I know musicians are divas about it, I know. Fine, my church is full of them. Too cold to play, too hot to play.
Instruments don't like extreme weather.
I know.
Like the August 26th.
26 is the last Saturday, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that just to
It would
space
make
it
it a
out.
little bit
Yeah.
easier.
Space it out a little bit.
Either way, it's still a lot, but
We can try one in August. If it's the last week in August, it shouldn't be too terrible. So get rid of the 23rd.
Yes.
I think. So get rid of the park cleanup concert date.
Oh, yeah.
And-
Okay. And then do
Replace it with-
October 14th.
No, August.
Oh, August 12th.
Wait, no, August what?
August 26th.
26.
Take this date, October 7th, and get rid of that, or no?
But I would.
Oh, I thought you said you were gonna do it the same as the
Would
movie.
you?
I'm sorry.
Were
August
you
26th.
hoping to? I guess the question is, do we want more free weekends, or do we want shorter days on those weekends? Do we want
More
to
weekends.
cram everything in the same day
Yeah.
and have more weekends, or spread everything out and have less weekends?
Do more events in the same day.
On the
so that
same
way
day and get it all
Space
over.
it out,
Okay.
have more free weekends.
So keep the concert with the cleanup,
Yes.
is what you're saying.
On September
And then get rid of, and then get rid of the October one.
Get rid of October 7th, so that way we don't have 4 consecutive weekends of
Okay,
events.
I kind of like that idea too. So we're doing.
We
Oh.
Still think it might be better to do
Away
the cleanup
every
with the
Saturday in
movie.
September.
Just because the movie seems like there's a lot less coordination
Because you can.
required.
We don't do anything for the band concerts. They set up everything themselves. We just kind of show up and do the snack shack.
Okay.
We have nothing to set up. What was the August date again?
August 26th.
Year round as well,
26th,
so.
August 26th, 9:23, and 9:30.
Yep.
Okay, so August 26th, September 23, September 30th.
Yes.
Those are the 3 concerts. Okay. And 23 is cleanup. So that's our
Yes.
double.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And then I guess 30th is our rain date. Cool.
Let's hope we don't need it so we don't have to cancel the concert.
What's the fall cleanup again?
October 7th.
October, wait, what? October 7th is the cleanup?
Oh, what? You're asking what the cleanup is?
Yeah. Oh, just
September
23rd.
23rd.
Why?
And the rain date, 30th.
That's what I was.
You know, other option too, and I mean, I kind of hate to suggest this, but I mean, we could always skip the fall cleanup.
That's also possible.
I think it's.
We've
gonna
always
be
said
too
in the
much.
past that we have very clean parks. And we always seem to struggle to find a place to
That is
clean.
very true.
Well, that's why we started doing like the mulching and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's always, we can always find something
You know, if
like
we
that
get-
probably.
Closer to that time and nothing comes up, it doesn't mean you have to keep it.
Right,
But I think you should have it on there in case something does come up
sure.
Okay.
for you to do, but we can always take it off
Yeah.
later.
That's a good idea.
Because I liked the project at the Centennial Park.
Yeah.
With the
Oh, yeah,
benches. I liked that. I felt like we could actually see what we did, because when we clean something up, we really can't see it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, and I mean, we got Public Works excited and they went down there and did a bunch of work and yeah, it
Right.
really spearheaded a nice project down there.
Yeah, so I would like to try to do more of those.
And it could be like, right by Mom's again and, you do things like that,
Yeah.
you
That
know.
was fun.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick, how far in advance do you have to get these bands?
Usually have them by March.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Great.
Okay. So are we set with the concerts for now? We
Mhm.
just need the dates today, so. Alright, and then, next thing on here, even though it goes back in time, so it'll be the Left Freedom Ring Parade, July 1st. We don't choose that date, so it's more of do we have?
Participation.
Yeah, participation.
I'll be Sparky.
Okay. And then the fall cleanup, we've already discussed that we're just pushing that back a week. And then Santa's arrival, December 2nd, from 3 to 6 p.m. I'm guessing we all want to participate.
The only thing I don't have on here is Trick or Treat on Main. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
you guys have participated sometimes, not all the time, I don't recall. Do you usually come?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you do.
So,
Spark-
yeah, we
Yeah.
did last year, I think the year before, it was just you two, right?
We were there. All right, I'll add that.
So with Halloween being on a Tuesday, would we do it on Monday?
No, they only do them on Saturday, so it's probably
Okay,
the
so it'd
Saturday
be the
before.
28th?
I mean, that date's already set too.
Okay,
Yeah.
What's the date for that again?
It's probably the Saturday before
Yeah.
Halloween.
October 28th.
Sounds right.
I'll get all this cleaned up and I'll send it back out to you guys
Yeah, awesome.
this week or next week.
Jana.
Okay, so then the last potential event to discuss is a skateboarding competition.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're excited.
Nick will cheer for you while you're skating.
I'll do it. Just give me some elbow pads.
Okay, so I did some research, and then last year I also talked to Jason with Shrimptown, try to get a little bit more information, kind of about, just trying to see if there's interest and like learn more about like what we should do for the competition. And the date there, so I just picked June 24th because it's the same, it's that Saturday following National Skateboarding Day.
Oh, really?
So I thought
There's
that
a
would kind of
day?
fit.
Wow.
And it wasn't anything else on our calendar for that weekend. So I would need to just verify that date works with Shrimptown before we set a definite date. The problem that I'm kind of running into is that it's going to be a long day. There's just no way around it with the skateboarding competition. So just thinking about volunteers, and then certainly we would need to have some participation from SPARC. But for competition details, so, and I made this smaller because when I first did it, I got the hours wrong. It was going to be like 10 hours. So I was originally thinking that it would just be for, geared more towards children. But I learned that actually most of the people that go to the skate park are adults. So I don't want to exclude them either. So I was thinking we could have 2 groups, 16 and under and a 17 and up. So there would be 2 rounds, and each round, each skater would get 2 1-minute runs with the best one that counts for their score. Max participants would be 15 in round 1, and then 5 would go on to round 2. So all that math plus 30 minutes for final judging, plus about 30 minutes for an award ceremony, and then kind of the in-between times that I estimated that's about 8 hours for the day. So let's try to think about potential costs and how we can mitigate those. So when I talked to Jason, it seemed like that they would be able to provide judges because, I don't know about you guys,
That was my
but
next question.
I can't judge a skateboarding competition. So that would definitely be on Shrimp Town to help find the judges for those volunteers. It would be nice to have an MC at the very least. We would need someone who can just announce the skaters and scores. But it would be great to have somebody with like a big personality that could also keep the crowd engaged. Prizes, Shrimp Town said that they could donate prizes, so we'd be good there. As far as food goes, since it's a long day, I figure we could open up to 1 or 2 food trucks if they wanted to volunteer to sell food there. Then we can also maybe sell soda and individually packaged snacks. We'll have a little SPARC tent set up. And also set up water jugs with water cups for free. And I was thinking we could give SPARC water bottles to the participants, and we can also sell them at the tent. So for judging table and chairs, we've already got all this stuff. We don't have to worry about renting it. The biggest thing that I could think of that we would potentially need to spend money on would be a PA or sound system. Because I don't think that our equipment can really...
We have a speaker, right? We just need the power cord for it.
It's not a very loud one, though.
No.
I don't think.
I thought we had one either here.
I think the town has one, but I don't know how loud
I thought we had one that was
like,
kind of like.
it would work for what you need it for. I can check into
But
it.
I've got
Would we be able to like hook it up to a computer and play music through it?
Probably not.
Oh, that's what
Not without like a
mix.
mixing board or something.
What about the one they use for the 4th of July parade?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Is that the
I'm gonna
DSC?
check in to see. I don't know if that's ours. I know we have one. I don't know how loud it is and what they used. I don't know. I'll check into that, see what we have.
Okay.
I can get back to you on that.
And at church we have all that stuff if we needed to go that route too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would we need like a spectator area, like risers,
Seats.
Standing room only.
People can bring their own chairs, I think. I think that's fair. That would seem kind of insane to have bleachers or...
I don't know if the
Right.
view was. I don't know.
I don't know how
Scope
big
out.
it is. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know if there's
I
actually
never go down
space
there.
or stuff.
There's a
Hi.
hill. Yeah, there's a hill.
I can't
behind
picture
it.
like
You've been up there.
I've driven past there.
how much you can. I mean, it sits up high.
Okay, that's a good
I
question.
can't think how
My kids.
I think
where you
for
can
that all
see
the time.
from.
I think for the first year, I don't think we should have to worry about the spectator area. And if it becomes a problem, we can try and figure out something if we do it again next year.
I'd hate to spend money and like
It's true.
10 people come.
Yeah, it could mostly just be there.
Yeah, and if we have
Feel it
Families
out
or
this year
something.
before we spend.
if we have a food truck, people are going to be congregating like all over the place. So just having a social event where people can just congregate, I don't really think it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spectating is as important as the competition.
And the MC will be announcing the skaters as they come on. So if it's like, if you're there for somebody and be like,
Right.
oh, they just called their name, let me get closer to the
Right, and then the groupies would go up and watch their neck skate in the bowl.
Okay, and then first aid kit, but that's not a big cost. And then I was
We have one in
thinking,
the snack shack.
yeah, but I don't know if it needs to be updated.
I can check.
Okay, thank you. And then, so when I did research on other, specifically other parks and recs, like departments or communities or whatever, if they put on skateboarding competitions, it seems pretty standard to charge $5 a head. And Brian brought this up to me before, that is, because my thought was that, like, well, I don't want to charge anything for it, but if you do charge somebody, even if it's something small, it kind of makes it more likely that they'll actually show up on the day. And I think
Even
like
if it's
$5 is
$5.
reasonable. Like I said, that seemed pretty standard. So that would be $150 for the 30 participants to help cover the cost of the water and paper cups.
Nice.
As far as risks and concerns go, obviously the bigger one is injury from competitors falling, but I figured that just have them sign a waiver. I wasn't sure if we needed any special insurance.
We have liability in the parks, but I don't know with something like this if we need something extra. So I just made a note to myself to check with Carrie. So.
Okay, awesome. And then I'd want to have obviously judges, but also establish backup judges because I'm just really worried about day of not having judges show up because we can't judge. And then I was thinking about music because in my head, I was picturing that the skateboarders were going to be skateboarding to music, just kind of make a better environment too. But I don't know. I'm concerned about copyright. So if we can only use royalty-free songs, it's gonna.
We have a license through the
I
town,
think so.
but I think you're making things overly complicated for 2 1-minute runs to try and switch out songs for.
Well, I wouldn't switch out songs. I would just want music in the background.
I think if the town is allowed to play music out in the street, like
yeah,
on
I
the
think
thing.
if it's recorded, that's different. Like if they're videoing it
Yeah.
and you're going to video it for
And we're
distribution.
charging.
But I think if it's just playing, I mean, we play music on Main Street all the time. So I don't think it would be any different than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we couldn't record it and then put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we could do a little bit more research on that. I mean, worst case scenario, we can't have music.
Yeah, it kind of kills the atmosphere a little bit if you don't have
Yeah.
music.
Yeah,
Some-
music
some
makes it
41.
more
Just-
fun.
yeah.
I think we're okay as long as we're not going to, like I said, record, distribute anything.
I say we just do it and cross our fingers. It's fine.
Okay.
Ask forgiveness, not permission.
And then obviously there's a concern about the event being too long from the perspective of volunteers. So these are the volunteers that we will need day of. So we'll need somebody to help set up tables and chairs for the judges, and then the SPARC tent, as well as the audio equipment. I figure we need 3 judges. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll need to have sufficient skateboarding knowledge. And it would be nice to have 1 or 2 judges' assistants to just kind of, like if the judges, they're like, I need some water or something, and they can do that or go run the scores over to the person announcing it. And I figured that could be student volunteers, maybe like slightly older, like high school age students. That would be, I think, really fun for
Yeah.
them. Is it an MC?
I have a question. So the participants, is it like a first come, first serve? Or is there a way of everybody puts their name in and we draw 15?
It's, I read that somewhere. Where'd it go?
Oh, I just had a question mark, yeah.
Didn't you write
30 participants is what.
they would send in a qualifying video or something?
That was an idea, but I think that's not practical.
You don't think so?
No.
Because who's
No, here it
judging
is.
that? Not us.
Yeah, that's just a lot more work. I would say that it would be first come, first serve. But I'm wondering if we should try to narrow it to Sykesville participants.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to Shrimptown.
Sykesville and the surrounding area.
Who uses our skate park, and Shrimptown might have
Yeah, it's
information
a
on
good idea.
that.
People come from,
Far.
Everywhere.
I do too.
especially, well, I know when it first opened, people were coming states away.
Really?
Yeah, it's when it first opened. I don't know about now, but definitely people come from beyond.
Wow.
Are we gonna
Did
have
not know
people
that.
come to us to sign up, or people go to Shrimptown skate shop to sign up? Because if we put it in their shop and then it would just be their customers, that might narrow it down.
That's a
little bit.
wonderful idea, because I was thinking it would have to be, like, I was gonna have a conversation with the town and how, yeah.
I think doing it at
that's a great
Shrimptown is your
idea.
best
Yeah, if
bet.
they're okay with
Nick,
that, I
you
would.
are on fire.
I know, he's
Holy
crazy.
I'm not
cow.
the rest, I'm back. All the ideas.
And that's good advertisement for them too.
Agreed. And they'd be able to answer better questions than us, because they know.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna be relying pretty heavily on them.
yeah, so I told Jason, I was like, I know nothing about
But
safety.
I talked to him last year too, and he was really excited for it.
He's been
He
wanting
was
to do this
hoping
for
we
years.
could have done it last year, and I was like, there's no way we can put this together. We've got like a month.
Okay. So then other volunteers. So if we do have music, then I feel like we should have somebody that's just kind of dedicated to that, playing that music. And then somebody for check-in and selling food. So I was imagining in the SPARC tent that we'd have like 2 to 3 student volunteers plus a SPARC member. It would be great to have a photographer, somebody taking pictures, and then an overall event coordinator, which, I'll be honest, I was kind of envisioning myself for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't make any of us do that. You have to do that.
Just put Alex.
Okay, but as far as the other things go, so yeah, I feel like my biggest thing right now is just making sure that we have the input that we, and volunteers and stuff that we need to make this event successful. So, I mean, as far as SPARC goes, like, who's willing to be part of the event?
I wanna do it.
Assuming I'm around, I can MC.
Let's get Stacy there.
Well, I was even thinking, why, although 8 hours is a long time, but to even hire a DJ.
Yeah, I was trying to think that too, but it's a long. That'd probably be expensive.
It's a
for
long
that.
day. When I said that, I thought that was really long.
I can make a playlist.
I mean, what's a wedding reception? 4 hours?
Rage Against the
Probably?
Machine. a
Yeah,
little
so you're
bit.
talking almost double that.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater
I think that
soundtrack.
is right up your alley.
I can do that.
Yeah, I think I kind of envision you being
That's
the
great.
DJ sound person, and that would include picking the music selection.
Just confirm the date.
Right, that's
What if
next.
we, on the,
We're just
when we
confirming
select
dates
people
today.
to sign up,
Yeah.
we make
But
them
we'll
write
definitely
down
keep that on the
their skate,
list of
the song they
times.
want to skate to.
Yeah.
But I don't wanna.
That was the point I
It would be
brought up.
confusing to try to switch between.
It's gonna be a nightmare to try and switch songs
Nick knows what to
every
do.
2 minutes.
But also, if
On
they,
a sound system I
How-
don't even know anything about.
they'd have, I thought about that, but they'd have to get us the MP3. And
Then it
if
would-
it's an inappropriate song.
Just Spotify.
Then we won't be able to.
Like Spotify.
Spotify with a laptop.
And it's adults,
That's all
they
it
can
takes.
play.
Okay, I'm old apparently.
There's the 15 and under group.
Yeah, they've heard enough. They
Yes,
know.
they have.
They know all the words.
We know.
I was wondering if you wanted to have a minimum age.
Probably.
I kind of.
Like, because if you have a 6-year-old come, you want him competing with a 15-year-old. And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
liable to get,
No. Yeah, under
Might be like
16,
10
over
years.
16
maybe
is probably
what
not
must
specific
be
enough.
age as well, 10?
Maybe 12 to 16 maybe.
Yeah.
What if
12
we
to 16?
don't let anybody under a teenager
We'll say
come?
12 to
What
16.
if we just?
What if we just do 16 and up?
Well,
I think there's some,
I think I would do 12
I think there's
at
some
least.
pretty decent 12-year-old skateboarders
Yeah.
out there.
Agreed.
like 12 to 16 and then 16
Yeah.
up.
Could we have what's his name, Jason from?
Shrimtown,
Yeah.
yes.
Could we have someone like that knows what they're talking about that we ask these questions to? 'Cause we're all guessing. None of us skate, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like we're the worst people to answer these questions.
Yeah, have him come to our next meeting.
So yeah, like I think someone that's actually done this before would be a good for this first one, because 12 might be right or it might not. I don't know.
Well, I did, I mean, this was from talking to him.
Yeah.
Was doing that split up age group.
But he didn't say a minimum.
We have, we
No.
have
Just-
waivers
I think
in
if-
there, and then
I don't know
we
if
have
he'd be willing to come.
Yeah, I'll definitely ask him.
Because if he did, then we can talk it and all the questions we'd
Yeah.
ask him and go with his professional opinion, kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
safe.
a good idea.
I think it's a good idea, though.
Should we get like some kind of a board to put like the leaders on in their scores, like as it goes on? So people can see like who the top 3
That'd be fun.
are?
So whiteboard.
Yeah, like a whiteboard and somebody who's got better handwriting than me.
And maybe Jason, or we can find like a skate competition that's somewhere that we kind of like figure out what they do.
Go
Yeah,
watch
that's what I was looking for, and I thought I had found one that was local, but then I couldn't find it
Couldn't
again
find
when
it.
I was looking for it, because I thought it, like, there was one in Carroll County.
Yeah. Or maybe there isn't many, which is why this might be a good event, because there isn't many.
I think Rockville did one,
Yeah.
skate park.
And just whoever like oversees that, maybe we like just pick the brain on.
Yeah, lessons learned and stuff.
All right, so you're gonna talk to Jason and see if he can come maybe to our next meeting?
Yeah.
All right, so do we want to just, well, yeah, it looks like the next thing's a schedule.
Great work, Alex, great work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just did a rough schedule there, but it's,
Let's get all the information, like Eric said, from Jason, and then we can go from there, because it might not take that long, it might take longer, but Jason can, like Eric said, Jason can be the one to tell us. And then we don't have to guess or ask for too much.
okay.
But maybe we should have this, save that date. Assume we're doing it, right?
Yeah.
And then hope it doesn't rain, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
it's not in May, so we should be okay.
I feel like I wouldn't, it would be worth it to do a rain date.
Yeah.
It would be too stressful, I'd just like cancel it.
All right,
Okay.
Yeah, looks good though.
Alright, so then definitely add skateboarding competition discussion to February's agenda.
So excited. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great.
Okay, so we still need to approve the event schedule though for 2023. I don't know if this is something that would be added to it, or if it's just, we would
We
just
would
keep the
add it.
schedule.
Add it to it, and then
Okay.
if,
I mean, if you're comfortable, otherwise I can just type it up and bring it back next month, and you can approve it that, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, let me check with Jason on the date.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to
So
approve it today.
Yeah, I'll send you an email.
so other than the skateboard competition, we're good with all the other dates?
We have to approve.
It's busy. It's
gonna
a
make a
busy
motion?
year.
I motion to approve the 2023 event schedule.
I thought we were gonna wait.
I don't.
I rescind my motion.
Did we just, did
Well,
we-
can we, cause I'm hoping I can get we can check June 24th, before the next meeting. So can we approve it with like,
Contingent.
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, it's early enough. I don't think it's gonna hurt to wait to approve it next meeting when we know the dates.
okay,
I mean, unless you're gonna start advertising between now and the next meeting, I don't think you, I mean, unless you want to. But I think you're good waiting a month till we lock in all these dates.
okay,
You guys comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that, yep.
okay. Sorry, Brett.
You tried.
And then obviously
Threw me under the bus.
the fridge.
Any town updates?
Yeah, I have a few.
Got another SPARC related
Okay.
thing to bring up. I mostly fixed Sparky's head. I didn't want to put a whole lot of effort into it because there was discussion about possibly getting a new Sparky. Are we still thinking about doing that?
Right.
So that can go right into one of my updates, is we are working on budget revisions right now and the new budget. And I think Joe mentioned to you guys in November to be thinking about if you have anything you wanted us to consider when we're working on that budget. And I could put in there, we talked about buying a new Easter bunny, which is gonna come quick. So I can put Easter bunny, Sparky,
And the gray one, if we can find one.
Mrs. Claus needs
Is there any-
glasses,
well, that's,
just to add to the list.
yeah, but I mean, I don't need that for budget. I mean,
No, okay.
Yeah, okay, fine.
$3 for that.
Well, that will be,
Wow.
so I'm talking on top of our normal budget.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did mention to Joe about the skateboard competition, and he said, we don't have to know tonight, but be thinking about what costs you think or extra funds you may need for that.
Okay.
So by the next meeting, maybe once we talk to Jason, we'll get an idea of what we need to have, and we need to put a dollar amount together for that.
Okay.
And that can wait till after the February meeting?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah,
Okay.
we got a little time on that.
Great.
And I was thinking you guys talked about some of the banners or signs you wanted to replace. So we need to get some costs on those as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's those kind of big ticket items that we need to kind of have a heads up on so we can include it in the budget.
Okay.
So if you guys want to think about that. The pavilion rentals, we upped the amount. It used to be residents and non-residents paid different amounts. I think it was 75 and 100 at Cooper Park. South Branch Park was 150. It's 150 across the board now.
Okay.
No non-resident, resident differences. The two pavilions at Cooper Park and the one down here are all $150. With the splash pad, we need to cover some extra costs there, and so that's kind of where, and we're already filling up, believe it or not. We're getting calls every day about the pavilions.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
So-
exciting.
Still
I have a
good
feeling
deal.
those pavilions are
Yeah.
gonna be full, and that was another reason why I gave Carrie the tentative dates that we had, so that she could get those on our calendar as we start booking up these
How do you
pavilions.
How do you make sure the like the concert pavilion isn't taken?
We don't rent them on the days that there's a concert.
But what happens if we haven't planned the dates yet? And how far in advance can
Well,
you
I'm
book
gonna
it?
tell her tomorrow,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
And then, okay.
She has already put in the movies and all those that we knew.
Mhm.
I told her that we were gonna be talking about concerts tonight. We haven't gotten any that far out. Most of the calls we've been
Okay.
getting are June and July.
Okay.
So I don't think we've had any conflict with August, September at this point, or anyone calling for those months. So I think we're okay there, but she was waiting to hear from me. So I guess everyone's comfortable with the concert dates, right? So I can give her those. And also Julie wants your dates as well. So as soon as you approve your schedule, I'll be giving that to Julie, because I think they're gonna help promote too.
Oh, great.
It always helps.
Yeah.
So in case anyone asks you about the pavilions, our stock answer is going to be the splash pad has created the need to incur a few more costs to cover the maintenance of the splash pad, and just felt and to keep it all the same and across the board, we went with one price versus a split price.
So it's 150 for any pavilion?
Yeah.
South Branch and Cooper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a heads up, Friendship Baptist Church has sent me their special event permit for their big spring break in Sykesville.
Mm-hmm. When is that?
That is, that can't be right. I wrote 7/29. It must be May 29.
Don't they do it around Easter? Or is it just spring?
Or is it April?
It would.
I wrote that wrong.
April 29
April
is
29
a
is a
Saturday.
Saturday.
So it's April 29.
Okay.
That's after Easter, though.
Maybe that was a funky 4 I
2
wrote
weeks
there.
after
I
Easter.
don't know. He rents the whole park, so that date there'll be nothing going on there. That's a big event for him.
Yeah.
And then I just have one more thing. This is really sweet. I had a gentleman reach out to me, and he wants to install one of those little free libraries at Cooper Park. And he wants to do it in honor of his wife's birthday. She's turning 70. So he's
Oh.
donating the box, and he wants to put a little plaque on it that's in honor of, I guess, the kids, in honor of their mother's 70th birthday on March 5th. We don't have a problem with putting it there. Cooper Park's filling up quick, so we gotta kind of logistically pick a good spot for it. He wanted to mount it to the snack shack. I don't think that's a good idea. But I told him I would bring it to you
The
guys.
walkways around the building
See
are
what you have
pretty
to say.
narrow.
But the snack shack would make sense because it would be covered. And if
Well,
it rained-
it's a pre-made box. It's not a
Okay.
homemade one. He's ordering it
Oh,
online.
okay.
It would,
Got a little roof and a door.
it would stick out into the walkways.
Near the gatehouse.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, that's a good, I don't, well, we'll have to,
Because it's kind of close, it's on the school side, like the gatehouse is what they're increasing, and then it's right at the entrance to the park.
yeah,
Which is usually a better
maybe even on
spot.
the museum side.
And
Yeah, that's what, between the, that cement pit, or the
Oh,
stone
yeah,
pillar
yeah.
and the gatehouse, like kind of halfway between the two.
Yeah,
would
that's
be
a good
great
thought.
spot.
Because
Because
it's away
people
from the
don't park
water.
there, you
Right.
gotta walk past it every time.
So the main thing was to bring it to you guys, see if you like the idea,
Love
and
it.
then staff will figure out where to put it, and council,
Okay.
and put, where we're gonna put it.
Away from the water park.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
So.
Oh, I think it's a great
Waterlogged
idea.
books.
That's all I have,
Yeah.
so,
Perfect. Thank you, Jenna.
you're welcome.
Anything else,
Anything
guys?
else?
I got an email from somebody asking where you guys bought the giant snowflake that was hanging over the street.
That was the DSC.
That's what I thought.
I can't think of the company.
They wanted to buy one.
Have them reach out to Julie.
Okay.
They bought that in the tree, the big tree in the corner.
Yeah.
That was the DSC.
Also got an email from the Gatehouse curator. She had some ideas I think we can talk about when we pick our movies. So not today,
Okay.
but that's for later.
That'd be our next meeting. Do that, the movies.
Should we have her in
Yeah, we
March
can do
since
that.
Jason's coming for February? Or is March too late?
For movies.
Because we have,
Our first one.
we have 3 months till June.
Yeah.
Didn't she mention that
Yeah,
tree
the
would?
licensing thing was pretty quick.
And then getting the movies is just going on Amazon.
We just try to do
Well,
it.
it's more about advertising,
Oh, yeah, that's true too.
how quick you wanna get your flyers out.
And we try to plan a craft based on the movie.
We can pick the movies.
Lauren's already
next
asked me what the movies
meeting. We can probably do
She's
it
ahead
pretty
of me.
quick. Right, picking the movies usually takes us maybe 10 minutes. And we've already got one.
Right.
Didn't Adrian mention that a tree would be cut down by the gatehouse for parking expansion, or is that a
I think the trees have already been done.
okay?
Yeah.
So do we want 2 people at one meeting? Do we want Jason and,
I don't know.
Well, Nick, are you looking up the email?
Yeah. It was a lot of stuff about Mary Main Street.
If it's about activities to do along with the movies, yeah, she can come March and we can still pick the movies in February, but if it has something to do with her being a part of picking the movies, then she needs to be part of that discussion.
I think she wanted to collaborate with activities, because
okay.
Joe mentioned something to me about that. I don't think it's about picking the movies, I think it's being part of,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Gatehouse participation in the movies?
Yeah,
Make that
yeah,
connection?
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Well, that might even be better if we pick the movies before.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you wanna do that at the next meeting?
Mm.
So we'll pick movies and Jason in February
Mhm.
and then have Gatehouse representation in March. That sounds good.
Anything else? Okay.
Anything else, Nick? Did she say anything else?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:01.
I second.
All those in favor?
Ah.
I like the little symbol on the water bottle after.
These movies are for you.
I know.
There's always movies in here that aren't out.